Young adults and college students can be top targets for credit card companies, but according to a Sallie Mae study, less than a third of those students really understand how credit works. So joining me now from our parent-to-parent segment, we have the publisher of Potential Magazine, Pam Mashburn here, and life skills teacher at Prattville Christian Academy, Trent Staggs. Thank you both for being here with us. Want to show the cover of the new Potential Magazine, and I asked you, these young ladies have PPF on the front of their shirts.
Right.
What does that stand for?
Powder Puff Football.
There you go. So you can find out more about that and these students and even what we're about to talk about now in the new issue of Potential Magazine. Thank you for being here. What an important topic, and
really
the sooner the better as far as getting started with this discussion.
Well, and you know, so one of the reasons that I talked to Mr. Staggs here about coming is because there's a lot of studies out there, and you know, I don't know if you remember, but when we were in college and getting out of high school, if you sign up for this credit card, you're going to get a Frisbee and a mug and a T-shirt, and I was all about that. Okay. Without really understanding what that meant, and it meant I had to pay bills and that kind of thing. So in 2010, they put a new law out, and they said you can't do that. And so, and actually now kids have to have, you know, certain income requirement. You know how that is.
Yeah.
But what they found since then is just keeping access until they're a little bit older hasn't really helped things. Really, the number one thing is education and healthy financial habits.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you don't have the proper information, you're still going to make poor decisions.
The big thing is the credit card companies know that these kids have disposable income coming. You know, they've got their student loans and stuff that they may have to pay, but they know they're going into the workforce that's going to have money for them to spend.
Yes.
And they're trying to get them in that credit card trap at the beginning so they can keep them in that cycle for as long as possible.
Yeah, so when you talk to young people about that, do you try to scare them, or what are the tactics that you use?
We use both.
Okay.
To be and to be real honest, we do. We use both of them. We want to teach them that money's a tool.
Yeah.
And you know, just like any tool, you take a hammer, you can build a house with it. You can build beautiful homes. You can build beautiful things. But I also can take that hammer and I can hit a mirror and bust the mirror.
Yeah,
and I can do damage with it. Yes. I've done that a few times over the years. So, you know, it allows you to teach them that it is a tool, you know, but we also want them to understand not to be afraid of it.
Right. Credit can be your friend as long as you're in good standing. And it really is. This is a life lesson. This is something they will take with them for the rest of their lives.
Right. And I think it's better to talk to them about it now before they get a lot of debt. You know, there's so many people that are like, oh, I just didn't realize, you know, you get caught in that trap. So I love that they talk about that. And I also, you know, just the implications of bad choices before you make the choices.
Sure.
Now, we're all going to do that. That's unfortunately the field trip we all end up taking at some point. But the other thing that I like that you guys talk about is just looking at what kind of lifestyle are you going to live? What kind of career are you going to take? And I was telling him, every really smart kid I meet, and I even think your son was one of them too, that said, I'm going to be a chemical engineer. Yeah. Because they make the most money coming out of college. And then they get in there and they go, whoa, I don't want to do that, you know.
Yeah, and he's changed many times since then. And not only has he changed his mind about that, but his personality has changed. You're going to be a different person in the next few years or after college. So you don't want to be dealing with those kind of issues once you are a smarter person.
Right, or making a choice based on money as opposed to what you're going to be passionate about. You know?
One of the things that we talk to the students about in my classes that I teach is that, you know, money is not happiness. You know, finding the fulfillment of your job is happiness, and that's really, if you're happy, you're going to make money.
Right.
That's a good point.
They say if you find a job that you love and you don't have to work a day in your life.
Yeah, and
we just have to get happier.
The one thing that we really try to explain to them, you know, is that happiness thing. But you know, we do projects in our classes that, you know, they have to go out and they have to pay bills. They have to have apartments. They have to have transportation and make those payments. You know, and they're like, well, I want to be a doctor. Well, that's not going to work because you're not getting out of school, out of college, you know, unless you put that time and effort in.
Right.
And still at that point in time, you're not, you know, you're not going to make that money right away.
Right.
It takes the time and the effort to do it. So we want them to understand that, you know, that ability to know that, you know, money's there, but how are you going to use it? Are you going to understand that it's going to be usable? You know, are you going to be in a position to change maybe your family,
Yeah.
and that you can grow your family in a position that you don't have to worry about money later.
Yeah.
You know, and those type of things. So we want the students really to understand that. You know, we talk to them about a rainy day fund, because you know you need to have some money set back.
Yeah.
You know, like my grandmother always told me, it was really my grandfather is more than my grandmother, but he says, you know, son, it's gonna sprinkle some days, and some days it's gonna be a monsoon. And when it's a monsoon, what are you gonna do?
Exactly.
You know, are you
Yeah.
going to be able to do the things that you need to do to be in the position not to have to fall back to a credit card or go take a loan out or those type of things? And we
Yeah.
want students just to grasp that identity, you know, and for them to understand that, you know, money's not bad, but also we have to control it. And if we control the money,
Yes.
And don't let it control
That's
us.
right.
there you go.
right.
Now we've gotten it.
Yeah, I got
Right.
you. Hey, and I hope that there is some kind of class like this in every school. And if not, I hope they start real soon, because this
Well,
is something that
it is
they
important.
really need. It's
And
very important.
Parents, we need to be sharing what our bills are. I mean, I don't think kids understand what things cost. And so I think as they get older, we need to be saying, this is what our utility bill is. And you're not necessarily going to live the way mom and dad live. Hopefully you live better, but you may not if you don't, you know, this is the
It's
cost of
trending
living.
that way where we're not living as well as our
I know.
parents
And
were.
that's something we really want to get across to them, and the projects that we do allow them to see that.
Well, I love that you talk about this in this magazine, because part of what helps is getting that dialogue
Right.
started.
Yes.
So thank you for coming on
Thank you very much.
our show and talking about that. Again, Potential Magazine has that article and many more. You can find out about scholarship availability and different events that are just for the teens in your house and their parents who love them so much. But if you can't find the hard copy, you can find it online.
Right. Potentialmagazine.com. We put scholarships out on our Facebook page almost on a daily basis, so check that out.
Yeah, and I follow you on IG too, so I see that
Yeah,
kind of stuff
good.
too. It's so
Thanks.
good to see you. Thank you.
Tanya.
Thank you
very
very
nice
much.
to meet you. Good information.
I really
very
appreciate
important.
it.